everyone, it's so good to see you. Strange platform, but here we are. I am really looking forward to sharing this recipe with you today. We are going to put together power bowls, or Buddha bowls as they're called. And basically I'm just going to throw it together really and show you what I've done and give you some ideas so that you can make your own. These are really great meals that you can customize for everybody in your family. You can put together whatever you like in terms of vegetables, in terms of protein, in terms of grain, spices, seasonings, all of that. They're really customizable, so they're kind of fun. So let's go ahead. I want to show you, I pretty much got everything all prepped ahead of time because you don't really want to watch me watch a pot boil. So I'm choosing for my base today, this is buckwheat. I've cooked it ahead of time in a little bit of chicken stock. You could use vegetable stock if you're vegetarian. So my grains are already cooked. Your choices are, you can use rice, you can use quinoa, you can use different kinds of grains, buckwheat, kasha, really whatever you like. The next layer that we put on top of that is our veggies. So I went ahead and roasted mine ahead of time, but I'm going to show you what I did. And then you put on a protein. In my case, I've got some leftover roast pork that I'm putting on there, but chicken is really nice. You could use tofu. Chickpeas are a great source of protein, or lentils. And then you top it with something fresh and crunchy. So in my case, I'm going to use this beautiful kale that I got at the farmer's market the other day. And then a little bit of sunflower seeds to make it all super crunchy, and this adds a little more protein, a little more fiber. And then I'm going to make a sauce. I am going to use sour cream, a little bit of hot sauce, and some maple syrup. You can certainly use a yogurt base, you can use an oil and vinegar base. Again, spicing it up with whatever you want. Something sweet, something salty, something that's got umami in it if you like. Shredded cucumber into your yogurt, drizzle that on the top. So many different things that you can do. So let's get started. I just want to show you basically what I did to roast the veggies. Pop those in the toaster oven, and then we'll build the bowl and show you what we're doing. So I've got some sweet potato here. I love sweet potato. So I'm going to cut it into bite-sized pieces. And basically, something I always tell my kids when I'm slicing, keep your fingers curled back and keep a flat surface so that your knife doesn't slip. But you can see these are sort of a 1/2 inch cube is what I'm doing. So I'm just about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to toss those in my bowl. Again, the choice of veggies is really up to you. I'm working with what we've got right now that is in season. So in that case, it's a lot of root vegetables. But broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, really it's up to you. Whatever you like. You can do an Asian theme and do things like bok choy, gailan, different daikon is really nice, and roast that if you like, or saute them. They don't have to be roasted. I like to roast up a bunch ahead of time and then just keep them in the fridge. So I'm going to dice my carrot here as well. Cut it into rounds, I should say. Okay, that's going in there. I've got some lovely yellow or orange bell pepper that I'm going to roast. I'm going to cut this into strips. And cut it into pieces like this. Dice some onion. A little bit of cauliflower. Sorry about that. Got a scratch in my throat. Get the cauliflower in there. Now, I happen to have some garlic oil that I'm going to use. You can just use olive oil, canola oil, plain old oil. I keep a bunch of garlic chopped up in oil in the fridge so that it's ready to go when I want it. I'm gonna drizzle that on there. And then I have some yummy chili oil that a friend of mine makes for me. So that's going in there. Basically, I just want you to get a sense that you can really, whatever you like, season it however you like. Fresh herbs would be delicious, dried herbs. It's really up to you and your palate. And don't forget the salt. Food always tastes better with just a tiny little bit of salt. So we're gonna mix this up. It's gonna go on my baking sheet. And I'm going to roast this. I like to roast it about 425 degrees so that it gets a little nice and brown and toasty, caramelized. If your pieces are all sort of uniform size, they should all cook about the same time. So I'm going to pop this into the oven. And away we go. So, but, you know, you would have had that all done ahead of time. And then when it comes time to build your bowl, get yourself a nice big bowl. I happen to have this beautiful big pottery one that a friend of mine made. I'm going to put in my grains in the bottom. So, buckwheat. I'm going to put my veggies on top of that. Then I'm going to put my protein on. And I'm going to slice up some of my quinoa, or my kale, I should say. Look at that beautiful, beautiful kale. I'm going to dice up some green onions because I love the way they taste, and sprinkle those on. Tomatoes, cucumbers, anything along those lines is really nice on top of here as well. I'm going to make this one, I'm going to eat this at room temperature. If you want to make it hot, you can certainly do that. And now I'm going to make my sauce. So I've got some sour cream, because I didn't have any yogurt. I thought I did. I'm going to stir in a bit of maple syrup. I happen to have a sweet tooth, so mix that all up. I'm just making a little dressing, really. And then some hot sauce. A little bit of hot sauce. Now, I am a big fan of spicy sweet, so I'm actually putting in a fair bit of hot sauce. And we're going to give this a little taste. I think it needs a little salt. I think everything needs salt. So, salt's going to go in. And then we're going to drizzle this over the top. Like that. And finish it off with some sunflower seeds for a lovely little crunch. And that, my friends, is all there is to it. So you can see how super easy that is, especially if you cook up a pot of rice or a pot of grains ahead of time. Keep it in your fridge, keep your veggies. You can heat those things up and then build a bowl if you want it hot. You can serve it cold or at room temperature. But the key here is to make it your own. So with whatever spices from your culture, whatever foods that you like from your culture, just build it all up in a base like this and have at it and enjoy it. See you soon. Bye.